Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and this is the last episode of 2021. Can you believe it that we are into 2022 already? Crazy. But I get asked a lot, how in the world do I do it all in my business? And the answer is I have some secret weapons that I want to talk about in this episode. And this episode is a recording of a webinar I did about virtual assistants. And my team, most of them in the Philippines, have a very large part of what happens in our business. They do a large part of it so that I can be working on my business rather than in my business. And there's a huge difference. And when I started, we're all wearing so many different hats. As CEO of your company, you are doing everything. When you first start, you're the marketing department, you're the sales department, you're the fulfillment department, you're the everything department. You do it all, customer service, everything. And there comes a point in your business where if you're going to grow, you're going to hit a cap because you can't do it all by yourself. There's only 24 hours in a day. And you also want to have a life and you want to be with your family. I want to be dad. I want to be a husband and do it well, not be in, working 80-hour weeks in my business and at the expense of my family. And so I know many people listen to this are in that same position. You want an awesome business, but you also want to have a life. You have hobbies and other things you want to accomplish. And so in order to do that, you need to do things like have software that helps you, or hire people. And it doesn't have to be, very expensive labor. So that's the benefit of hiring overseas workers is just the pay scale is so much different. And a wage for them that's really, really good is a lot less than what you'd have to pay somebody here in the US. And so it's just an incredible win-win to be able to provide jobs for people that really need it, to be able to allow them to work from home and be with their families. And this is going to be a big focus of me for 2022 is getting more people hired. I really feel like that's something that I'm called to do. And it's a really cool thing to be able to provide jobs. And so if you are in a position, your business is in a position where you need somebody to come alongside and do all kinds of different stuff. If you're an Amazon seller, find you replens, find online arbitrage replens, find online arbitrage clearance deals. You could go into a store and take pictures at a local store, upload them to your VA, and the VA could look at those for potential profitable deals for you. If you have another type of business and you need social media help, we can help with that. If you need help with customer service, we got VAs for that. If you need graphic design, if you need lead magnets created, if you need Kindle direct publishing books created, all of that can be done through a VA. And I've hired VAs for all of that before in the past and continually have people right now on my team that do that for me and others. So this episode I know will challenge you because I know you want to grow your business. And if you want to do that, then at some point you are going to have to either work harder yourself to do it, or you're going to have to hire people, and which will allow you to work on the things in your business that only you can do. And what my friend Dan Miller calls your zone of genius. What is your zone of genius? The things that you really love to do in your business. I know there's some things in your business you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I hate this task. I hate this project. I don't want to do it, but it's necessary because it's part of my business. Well, hire those things out and work on those things that only you can do. And you're just going to be so much happier, more fulfilled. You're going to just you're going to wake up loving your business, wake up loving what you do because you're working on those things that you're uniquely skilled at and that you're good at. And so that's what this episode is about. But we have an incredible offer. I want to get more people hired. And so right now, as I say this, now this is not going to last long. We have about 14 virtual assistants that have been trained for Amazon product sourcing, for online arbitrage replens. They can look at pictures and that you've taken at a store and identify the good ones for the profitable deals. And if you want to get a virtual assistant, hey, Callan, I'm doing a webinar and I'm doing an intro for my podcast. If you need a VA, we are doing half off the training fee. And so just go, there'll be a link in the show notes. This is episode 125. Go to streamsofincomeradio.com, go to episode 125, and you will be able to see the link where you can fill out a short application form. And we will send you back a link to check out, because we have a very, very, very short short form that you just need to fill out. We need to figure out what you're looking for, and then we will send back a coupon code for you to sign up and get half off the training fee that we charge to train the VAs. And so we'll do this once after these 14 VAs are hired and placed, then that will go away. But we want to get these folks placed. I want to hire more people in 2022, and I want to help your business grow. So let's create this win-win together. Here's this episode about how I have secret weapons that help me grow my business. Here it is. So we're going to talk about VAs. So this is one of those pivots that I had no clue I'd ever be talking about virtual assistants. It's funny how things happen. You see the needs, as Jenny mentioned. You see folks needing things in your group, in my Legends group and in my Silent Team group. You just pay attention and you start to see trends. You start to see people asking questions. And so I started a Legends group with a friend back in December of 2016. And we pretty quickly, within a couple of years, we probably could have done it earlier, we found out that people need virtual assistants. As Amazon sellers, they need help. They want to expand. You usually hit a cap or a ceiling where you can't go any further and you need help. That could be software, that could be a prep center, hiring shoppers. But VAs play a big role in a lot of our students' businesses because of the reasons we'll talk about here in a little bit. But again, I had no clue. We mentioned with Jenny that I had no idea who in the world would pay me for any knowledge. And now I've talking about wholesale. I've talked about private label, have the Legends group. We, of course, have an awesome team that helps me with that. And now I'm talking about virtual assistants. So this is something that's become near and dear to my heart, honestly, and I'll share with you why. Because it's such an awesome win-win that we were able to create. And let me make sure I can also see the chat here. Pull up Facebook as well. You guys can ask questions. I'll try to do both here if there's any questions about this as we go along. Okay, so what is a VA? Well, I just mentioned it's a virtual assistant. Most of you are aware of that term. You've seen it, if you've been in the group any length of time. You've seen us talk about virtual assistants. You've heard other people talk about having them and how to get one. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is how this could be something that you think about for 2022. If you are in your business and you're working so much in it, you want to be working more on it rather than in it, then you need help. There is going to be a time, and Jimmy Smith talks about this in his Replen's course, where he and Brittany, they got to, I think it was like $40,000 a month in sales, and they could not physically do anymore with the time that they have. And some of you may be hitting that cap where you are, or you think you're about to, and you know that you're going to need to do something else to explode through that ceiling that is there right now. And again, that could be a prep center, it could be hiring a shopper, but maybe it's hiring a virtual assistant. Okay. So what does a VA look like? Well, this is a little bit funny, but here's one right there. That's my VA, Zach. He's not my first virtual assistant, but he is the one that's been with me the longest. And so when we were looking at creating a virtual assistant service for the Legends group, I went to Zach, who was a VA, had been working with me since 2013. And I said, Zach, I think there's a need, or I know there's a need in my group for virtual assistants. You're one. Let's build a virtual assistant service. And that's what we did. We created legendary VAs in the Legends group. And guys, this is not a pitch for that. If you need a VA, let us know. We happy to serve you for sure. But because I want to create jobs for folks, and I'll tell you why that means a lot to me. But this is one of them. I make fun of him with his long hair. I think he's cut it since then. But this is what VAs look like. Of course, you know what they look like. But I share this because I'm super proud of this. We're doing about serving or training about 30 to 40 VAs a month. And not all of them stick around. Some of them end up going doing other things or look for other VA positions, but we end up having training classes of about 15 to 20 every 3 weeks. And sometimes we're doing a morning session and an afternoon session. Now, these are all Filipinos, except for Cynthia here. I think she's from Kenya, very first African virtual assistant. And so I love jumping on these calls. You see me here. Whenever we have a training, the evening of it's their morning, my evening, their day 2, I come on and just greet everybody, tell them about Legendary VAs, welcome them to the team, just talk about how proud I am that they're here, to be able to partner with them, to give them this opportunity, because guys, it is an incredible opportunity for them and for us. It's truly a win-win. As Jim talked about, he actually talks about the triple way win. This is a win-win. This is a triple way win too. It's a win for the VAs, it's a win for the clients, and it's a win for the Legendary VA program to have these folks. Here's another one. I do screenshots almost every time I jump on. And then this is one I'm super just like this, crazy proud of this. And this kind of gets to the heart of why I do this. So as you can kind of probably tell, these are not Filipinos. Now Rhea is, but this was our very first Indian training class, folks from India, and actually 2 Moroccans. So, and then there's me and Callan joining in on a training just to say hi to these folks, welcome them to the team. And so we are expanding worldwide. We want to provide jobs all over the world. The need is great. And those of you that obviously you guys are, e-commerce sellers, but there's other tasks that a virtual assistant can do besides e-commerce. So I have a vision for these folks doing social media, customer service, data entry, just regular research. Of course, with Amazon, I'll go through all the tasks that they can do for an e-commerce seller to get you thinking. While I'm going through some of this stuff, just be thinking about the things, and I'll have a free download that you can access that'll help you figure out what you're doing in your day, so that you can realize that, wow, I'm probably doing way too much, that I could hire somebody for a lot less than your time to do this for you. So be thinking about the things, and maybe even write them down as I'm talking. What are the things that you're doing in your business that that you shouldn't be doing? Most of you kind of know, like, and I still do this, guys. There are things in my business that I know, and even while I'm doing them, I know I should be outsourcing this. I should create a system and a process to outsource this task right here. And I get to, yes, they apply to be trained, Tabby. And we post ads on various sites. We get them and we vet them, and we go through training, and then we endorse them to clients. But I know there's things in my business that I'm still doing that I shouldn't be doing. And it's those things that, like, it may only take you 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes to do. And you think, well, it's so much easier. And this is, I'll tell on Jenny a little bit. This is I kind of think where Jenny is. And I know a lot of people are here. It's so much easier sometimes just to do those tasks yourself. But if you add up the number of times that you do those over a week or over a month, you would easily get that time back. If you spend 20 minutes explaining the task. So that's where it usually gets folks, it's just easier and faster to do it yourself, because it will take 20 minutes or an hour to tell somebody how to do this or train somebody how to do this. Jenny's listening, sorry. but it's true, guys. We get in that rut where it's like, it's just easier for me to do it. But then it's just like an investment of your time. Hire the person, spend that 30 minutes to an hour to train them how to do that. And you get back all those 5-minute tasks over the life of the time that you have them working for you. So these are Indians and Moroccans. And this was really cool for me because this is those same Indians in their room doing the training. This is almost always virtual. All of our Filipinos do it virtually, but this is the first time that we had an in-person training where they were all, Rhea was in the Philippines doing a training, but all the trainees were all in one room together. And so what's really, really cool about this, guys, is that this opens up so many opportunities. People all over the world need work. People are hurting right now. And these are folks that are, even worse off than some of the Filipinos that we're training and hiring. And so this just does my heart good to see this. One of the people that were helping me out with this Indian project, he's a pastor, and he has a heart for folks there. He wants to provide jobs. And so they're super excited about this new program in India. All it is just an extension of the legendary VA service into India. But we can do this anywhere in the world that what we pay is a good pay. And there's a big part of the world that what we pay is good. Here's one that this is special to me. This is 2 years ago when Zach and his sister Rain who's on my legendary VA team, actually came to visit. This is in Indiana. So they came in October of 2019, September and October. And they, that's right, Dolores, this is Kingdom. Absolutely. We had a Legends conference in Southern Indiana, and they flew from the Philippines to Texas to hang out with me. We worked on some stuff, but mostly I just wanted to meet them. I wanted to bless them with the opportunity to come over here. They'd never been to the US before. I treated them to all the food they could eat. We went to Chick-fil-A. And then we had a Legends conference that year that Jim came down and spoke at too. And they got to meet the Legends folks. And so it was just really fun. So this is at my parents' house in Indiana and up near Indianapolis that they came and hung out with my parents too. So guys, my VAs are my friends. And that's probably one thing we'll talk about if you have questions about that. That's probably something that I struggle with is, that barrier. I need to be a boss, and I am the boss, but I also, it's easy for me. If you know the DISC profile, I'm an IS. It's easy for me as an IS to be too lenient, to be too friendly. And so I guess it can be, that can be bad, but I err on being generous. So why the Philippines? And there's so many reasons. These are just 5 of them. And it doesn't have to be the Philippines. Obviously we're expanding all over the world and we want to, but the reasons we started with the Philippines were, number one, they're loyal, they're hardworking, they're honest, they love Americans. It's kind of a status thing for them to say that they work for an American company or even an overseas company. A lot of them work for Australian companies. That's a big deal for them to say they work for an overseas company. Cost-effective labor. I'll talk about that when we talk about how much we pay them. But guys, they're honestly some of the most loyal, most hardworking people I've ever worked with. And, I would, I hate to say this, but in most cases, if I was just looking at somebody's nationality, and I don't even want to I hope this doesn't sound bad, but if I was an American versus a Filipino, I'm probably going to pick the Filipino if I'm not looking at any other things, because I'm an American. I know it's easy sometimes for us to be lazy. And so they are hardworking. The other thing is they're not typically entrepreneurial. And so a lot of folks are nervous about, aren't they just going to steal my Amazon business and do it themselves? No, they're not going to do that. They just want a job. They just want to provide for their family people. They're like they live a lot of times in multi-generational housing. The grandma and grandpa will be there with mom and dad, and the kids, they're all in the same building, sometimes in the same complex. Zach and Rain live really close to each other in the same, I guess they call it like a compound. So they're very family oriented. They just want a job. They just want to provide for their family. They want to provide for their kids. And so they just need a job. They just want a steady paycheck. And so we provide that, and it is an honor, and it's a great deal for them too. When some people hear about how much they get paid, I've heard people say, well, man, aren't you ripping them off? Or that's a horrible deal, taking advantage of them. And it's not. We're creating an incredible win-win. It's the same conversation like when we talked with Jeff Clark today, and he mentioned, why in the world would somebody pay hundreds of dollars for this TV? Or I don't know. I mean, they just do. And you're providing a service for them finding that TV. He mentioned that. Go back and listen to that his talk today if you're interested in the model of garage selling and estate selling. But he's getting these TVs for $5 and selling them for $100. And so it's the same thing here. We're providing an opportunity for them to have a job. Their cost of living is incredibly low compared to ours. And so they're just look at the expenses. Do a Google search on expenses to live in the Philippines. It's a lot less than a lot of places. And so we can pay them. And what we pay them is a great wage for them, a really good wage for them. They can work from home. And so that's a big deal. Right now, a lot of them aren't going back to the office because of COVID. And so they need work from home positions, and we provide that for them. That's one of the things I tell them when I get on those calls at the beginning of training. I said that it's just an honor for me to be able to provide this opportunity for you to be able to work from home, be there with your kids. You can work any hours that you want. We don't have, at least for our virtual assistants, we don't care what hours they work. If they want to work in the middle of the night, which a lot of them do, because they're kind of used to that, because a lot of them may have come from the call center industry. They're used to those late night hours for them. They can do that. Or if they want to switch back to days, they can do that. If they want to work some of those ones that are more on the performance-based plan, it doesn't matter if they work 2 hours a day or 20 hours a day. We don't care. And it's so much flexibility they get. They love it. They're like, I can't believe that this opportunity exists. And so that's super cool. Number 3, traffic is a nightmare. And I learned that when Zach came to visit me, and he told me about when he was at a call center, and he only lived just in the Philippines. They use the metric system, so kilometers. He only lived a few kilometers away from his office when he was in the call center, but it would take him 2 to 3 hours, guys, each way to get to his office and then back home. So that's 4 to 6 hours a day, literally, no exaggeration there, that he was spending on the road away from his family, in addition to the hours that he was away at the office, which meant that was extra time that he was just sitting in the car, maybe listening to Jim's podcast or something. I don't know. But, the traffic is just awful there. And so for them to be able to work from home, say it gives them an extra 4 to 6 hours at home with their families that they wouldn't have had otherwise, that's a huge bonus. So number 4, obviously, is more time with family. And so this is really fun for me. I think somebody up above here said, this is kingdom. Yes, Dolores. And I feel the same way about this. We're making a huge difference in these folks' lives. We're blessing them with a job opportunity, but also they're providing us an incredible service at a rate that there's no way that any of you listening would work for that wage, just because it costs you more where you live. You could not do it financially, but they can. And so it works out really, really well. So what jobs can a VA do for you? So this is where I want to go slow. I want you to be thinking through some of the things that happen in your business that you can think about, oh, wow, I need a VA for that. And this doesn't mean you have to do it right away, but just be thinking about the future of your business, what you want to do, where you want to grow to, and think about how maybe a virtual assistant, or it doesn't have to be, again, we in the Legends group, we have a whole course on outsourcing. And I remember Jimmy Smith, he was one of the ones that partnered with me on this. And he said, outsourcing could be a piece of software, like do an inventory lab or a Replen dashboard instead of having to figure up your Replens manually or doing a spreadsheet. Software can be a huge, huge time saver. A shopper can allow you to clone yourself. A prep center allows you not to have to do the prep and ship at your house. A VA can help you find profitable products and a whole lot more. So let's go through these. And guys, feel free to ask questions. I want to take questions at the end too. And I want to make sure you get all your questions answered, because I know this topic usually brings up some things, and you can always message me later. But the biggest one that people come, and this is something Jim always says, is that your first hire should be a revenue generating one. I know a lot of you maybe start with a prep center, and that's okay. But like it would be better if it was something that generates revenue for you, so that quote expense really isn't an expense. It gives you back, those hours of shopping that allows you to do more shopping or allows you to do something else. But finding new replens, this is the thing that, replens are all the rage in our community. We feel like this is the stable way to generate an income. If you are doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage, we had Amy talk a couple hours ago about wholesale, and those are replens. Real quick, I know we have some brand new folks on these sessions. Replens are products, replenishable products that you can find consistently, then they sell consistently. So, and besides a product like a clearance item that you go to you go into Walmart and go to the clearance aisle, And those are things that great. You're going to get some great return on investment on those products, but those are not replenishable because most likely you go back to that same Walmart and they're all gone. You're not going to be they're discontinued or just they're moving them out to bring in new inventory. So you're not going to find those products again. Replenishable products are things that sit on the regular retail shelves or on a regular wholesale list that you can continually source and that continually sell. And so that's where this is the model that in our communities, people are able to quit their jobs because it's sustainable, it's scalable, it's more predictable. And so having a virtual assistant to find these for you can be huge. It can be a huge time saver. It is to allow you to do other things in your business, to do more sourcing yourself, or you're buying back time when you have somebody that can work for what we'll talk about here, which is way less than what you guys make an hour. And anytime you can pay them that in order to get your time back, it's an arbitrage of time, an arbitrage of money versus time there too. So finding replens is the biggest one. Managing your replen list. So there's a lot of this not quite as needed with as tools like Replen dashboard, but we have some folks that still use the Replen dashboard software and have a VA run that software for them. Online arbitrage deals. This is just where they're scouring the internet looking for sale deals, clearance deals on any .com site. Those of you that live outside the US and wonder how you can make a business like this work, it's having a virtual assistant or yourself find those deals, have it go to ordering on those .com sites, having it shipped to a prep center, and have that prep center package those products up and send it into your Amazon account for you. But you're going to be doing retail arbitrage. You're going to be doing online arbitrage for that, unless you have a shopper in a local area picking up products for you. It's going to be mostly online arbitrage, and so a VA can be a tremendous help with online arbitrage. They can do seller central account management. They can respond to messages. They can check IPI score, any backend. They can open up cases for reimbursement. Pretty much any backend things that you need done in your Amazon business, removing negative feedback. They can do that. And then we can train them to do that. We actually have a program that they're already trained to do this. Does a VA work for, Oscar's asking, does a VA work for 2 or more Amazon sellers? They can. You could certainly share a VA. We have a VA share program in Legends for product finds. But I mean, the cool thing about what we're doing in Legendary VAs is it's so kind of like, it's almost like a concierge service. So Oscar, you could tell me I need this and I want to partner with my friend UC, and we'll figure out how to make it work. It's not like we're not so big that we can't, just figure out how to serve that need. So we absolutely could figure out a way to get you one VA and you guys just share it. Uploading buy lists, sending emails for wholesale. Again, we had Amy talk about wholesale today. So you can have a VA look for wholesale opportunities for you. You could have a VA that goes through the Proven Amazon course. You give them access to the course. If you're in the Legends group, give them access to the Legends content and say, hey, watch this video and do that in my business. It's helpful if so you can give them some direction. They're not like, Superman. They don't know everything about Amazon. They're learning just like you are. But you can put them in front of a course and say, I want you to learn this and I want you to implement that into my business. So sending emails for wholesale can be very, very time consuming. If you had a template that they can use, we have templates in the Proven Wholesale Sourcing course. Rich Potter has some incredible wholesale content right now that has come out maybe, or is coming out. And so they could do the wholesale business for you or assist you in finding wholesale suppliers, sending emails, getting price lists. And once you get a price list, they can then do the work of looking for those profitable products in that price list. They can look for new private label opportunities for you, whatever course you want to put them into. I mean, guys, anything in the Proven Amazon course, pretty much a VA could do for you. A VA could assist you, help you buy back that time. We have some folks, one in particular, Gary and Gay Mosley in the Legends group, that they've almost completely outsourced their whole business. If you guys they haven't, I don't think they've been on Silent Sales Machine podcast, but they were on my podcast, Streams of Income. I will find that episode and post that, because that'll get some of you like really jazzed about the opportunities of a virtual assistant. So Gary and Gay have a they in an RV. They're hanging out right now with their daughter in South Texas, but they have a they have a team of VAs that will find the profitable products for them. They have a VA or two that actually buy those products, because they've given that VA essentially saying, if the deals meet these parameters, just go ahead and buy the products. Now they've got a system in place, processes, they're using LastPass, and but the VA has access to be able to purchase these products for them. And this didn't happen overnight. They taken some time, energy, and effort to put the system in place, but now it's working for them such that they literally only have to check in on their Amazon business when and if they want to. Pretty amazing. Most folks aren't there, and some of you be like nervous to even go down that road, and that's okay, but that's what they wanted. And so they built that team. And so that is very possible to have a VA team pretty much run your whole business. I mean, my VA team runs the legendary VA service. We have a VA that posts the jobs for our positions. That same VA that posts the jobs goes through the vetting process, gets the resume, does the background checks and things that we do, does all the assessments. I don't think they don't do an actual, I don't think they do a criminal background check, I don't think, but the assessments, the English tests, all that stuff. We have a VA then that does the training, a VA then that does checking deals, a VA then that processes those deals and gets them to the clients. It's all done. I could not do that alone. I have a team that makes that happen. And so I'm pretty much hands off in that business, other than, I'm very hands on in that I'm managing it. I'm on Skype with them, and I'll talk about how to communicate with the VAs, but they run it. It's just, I am outside looking in rather than inside and doing all the work. So there are so many more opportunities besides, even in e-commerce, that a VA can do for you. And beyond that, if we talk about the e-model that Jenny just talked about, they can help you with creating your cover for a Kindle Direct Publishing book, getting it published, doing the editing, transcription. I have a VA that edits my podcast for me, that edits video and audio for me. We have VAs that can do websites. So pretty much anything you are doing in your business, a VA can handle for you. So Marianne, great to see you. Gary and Gay Mosley, Mosley. And I will find that episode. If somebody wants to, probably somebody can Google it faster than I can try to find it. But if you just Google Streams of Income Mosley, I bet it would come up. If not, I will find it and post it here. Oscar, yes. So will they share? So talking about sharing a VA with other sellers. So in the legendary VA service, we have a share program where there's a group of 5 people, and they all see the same products, but we could structure anything. So like if you wanted to partner up with somebody else, we could make it to where that person, you share the deals with that person, or we could say, okay, this VA is going to find 10 products a day for you. You guys are splitting the cost. They're going to find you 5 and your friend 5. It could be really whatever you want it to be. Win every day. Awesome. I love that. Love your Facebook page title. Could they support eBay and Amazon simultaneously? Yes, you can have a VA do eBay for you. You just got to be a little bit careful. They cannot make the listing go live. I think it's Gary and Gay have a VA that does eBay for them. They take those same products, list them on eBay, but the VA creates the listings and puts it in draft mode, I believe. And then Gary and Gay or maybe their daughter go in and make the listing live. All right, how much to pay them? It depends. It really does depend, but I'll give you some actual numbers. I know that it's helpful for you guys to know what to be expecting. A typical, if you're paying them by the hour, between $4 and $8 an hour. If they're just sourcing products for you, probably closer. And this is if you're finding them on your own, you're doing the work to post the ads, vet them, do all the work of interviewing them and hiring them yourself. You can expect to pay a VA doing that, maybe $3 to $4 an hour, $3 to $5 an hour for product sourcing. And that's right, $3 to $5 US dollars per hour. You might think, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it is for us, but guys, honestly, that's a great wage for them too. So you're creating an incredible win-win here. And that's what's so cool about this, is that there's just no way that any of us, mostly probably any of us listening to this, could work for that amount of money, because you couldn't buy anything with that. That does not do anything where probably most of you are living, because the cost of living is so much higher, but where they live, it's just way, way less. And they can do that, and it works out really, really well. So, but depending on the task, $3 to $5 an hour for, and this is again, if you are using that, you're doing all the work of hiring them yourself, and you're paying them directly, expect to pay between $3 to $5 an hour for sourcing type of help. A full-time wage, if you, some of our VAs are just on, some of our VAs get paid per deal, depending on what they do. We try to work with them as much as possible. Some of them have call center jobs still, or do other full-time jobs, but they want to make some extra money. They're doing a side hustle of finding deals. We've worked that out for them, and they get paid per deal. What we do there is like, I think $1 to $1.50 per deal, depending on the deal and how long they've been around and their status as far as the part-time, full-time, or if they're endorsed to another client. But $3 to $5 is what I expect for sourcing. If it's anything more technical, website, you can expect to pay more on a full-time. Thanks, UC. Appreciate that, buddy. UC posted the YouTube link for that episode with Gary and Gay. If they're full-time, you can expect to pay $400 to $500 a month full-time for a VA. We get the question a lot: does full-time mean 40 hours? You can structure it that way if you want. I don't. Full-time for us in the Legendary VA program is more performance-based. We expect them, if they are, quote, full-time, which gives them access to the 13th month, and we can talk about that too, is they have to find 10 to 12 deals a day. And this depends. It may be replens, it may be, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on how we work all that, but just know that we've structured, and this is not just me winging it, and this is me talking to our VAs. How long does it take you to find deals, and trying to find a good balance, what is a good amount to give to a client, and to give the client expectations. But 10 to 12 deals a day, mixed between replens and clearance. If it's like all replens, a VA may only find a few a day. But full-time work does not necessarily mean 40 hours a week. It can. Sometimes they're working more to find those. Some of them, once they get really, really good, some of them, guys, this is what's really cool. Some of them have multiple, some have more than one full-time job. They're able to work for two people. They can have a full-time job as a call center agent, and they become really, really good with sourcing, that they're also able to have another full-time job on top of that with us, make an extra, I don't know what they get as call center agents. It's less than what we pay, but they can add on another $400 a month and make maybe closer to $800 a month. And work about the same amount of time as somebody else would work full time. So ours is more performance based. It seems to work out better. We don't put them on a time clock. You can, depending on the job. In some instances, you may want it to be hourly. It just really depends. But those are some things to expect. So how to pay them? PayPal has been the easiest for us. It really works. But I've heard a lot of people mention Wise. It used to be TransferWise. But wise.com is another service I've heard that works really well. We've done Western Union before, but it was just a pain. And we've done RIA before with one particular VA who didn't have PayPal, but PayPal is by far the easiest for us. There is a fee that you have to pay when you're doing that. Always do the friends and family rate, because if you don't, they will not get all of it. So like if I pay them $400 and I make it because of a service, they will not get that full 400, and it just costs you a whole lot more, because I want to make sure that they get what they've worked for. And so there usually is on a $400 payment, there's a $5 fee that I have to do. And so what we end up doing was, because we have a large team now of about 50 to 70 VAs, we pay every month. We pay them biweekly, by the way. But we found out we were paying $5 on every transaction. So what we're doing now is my VA that does the payroll goes into my PayPal account, transfers all of the money into her account in the Philippines, and then distributes it. So then there's only one $5 fee. So that's, for most of you, that's not even going to be an issue, because you're not going to have 50 VAs to pay. But just know that there's a little bit of a fee. Oscar, you had to ask a question about, I want a VA that will work for me only, and I'll have them as full-time employees. Is something that they can do? Yes, absolutely. Just email me. We'll help you out. How often to pay them? So it really depends on what they're used to. All of our VAs are on a biweekly schedule. It works really well for them. But just ask your VA. Say if you were working, if you had a VA through us, you would be paying us and we pay them. And we charge the client monthly and just pay the VA biweekly. But if you were working directly with the VA, just ask them, what do you prefer? Is weekly better? Is biweekly better? Is monthly better for you? And you can work it out to whatever works out well for them and you. All right, this is a beautiful one. Beautiful benefit of a VA service or having a VA. What about taxes? Now, again, I have to say I'm not an accountant, but this is an easy one. I can say this one. A VA is just an expense. There is no payroll taxes. There are no anything. Like those of you that have hired somebody here domestically know that there's a lot of things you have to do when you hire an employee. I'm a W-2 employee under my business. And so I pay payroll taxes. There's only one employee, me, but we just structured that for various reasons. You can talk to an accountant why, but with a VA, there are no payroll taxes. You don't have to deal with health insurance. There are no taxes. You pay them the money and that's it. It just is an expense off of your business, just like you were buying supplies, just like you were buying bubble wrap. I mean, it's a line. I think, and the line item might be freelancers and contractors, depending on the schedule that you're filing. But a VA is just an expense off the top of your business, and that is beautiful because it just makes it so much easier. When I tell people this, they're like, "No way, that's too good to be true." Especially if they've hired other people before, they're like, they can't believe that it's that easy, but it is. You literally just an expense off the top of your business. And then they worry about their own taxes because I'm a US based company, just hiring somebody, a foreign person. I'm not at all. I don't have any legal business entity in the Philippines. So I don't have to worry about any of their laws. We'll talk about the 13th month here in a second, but there's nothing legal I have to do with the country of the Philippines. I report to the IRS, but as far as VAs are concerned, it's just an expense on my business. All right, so how to find your own ZEC. Well, I'll talk about number 2, 3, 4, 5 before I do number 1. Number 2, I mean, honestly, one of the best places where we've gotten a lot of VAs is onlinejobs.ph. The founder of that, John Jonas, was a speaker at the very first CES we did in Orlando. Awesome guy, has a heart for these folks as well. He's created an awesome site, guys. If you are going the route of doing this on your own, check this site out because it's beautiful. What this site does is that it's essentially, imagine a dating service. I know that sounds bad, but imagine a dating service. Like you can look through profiles, you can message people. I think they even have a service to where you can say what you want and they'll match you up. But the easiest thing to do is just post a job description on there and you will get so many responses. You'll get way more than you ever could go through. And that's actually a downside too. And I'll talk about that here in a second as well. But essentially you just post a job description of what you're looking for. A lot of you would be posting a job description about looking for Amazon product sourcing. We can help you figure out a job description to post if you're going to go at it on your own. And you will just get so many emails from people. You pay monthly to be a part of onlinejobs.ph, but you can cancel it after you hire your person. Free Up is another one. I think it's FREEE Up. The founders also have been at CES and been sponsors before. Nathan Hirsch, they actually sold it a couple of years ago, and now they're doing some other things with VAs, and they have an e-commerce accounting program, I think. But Free Up's also good. Upwork is a great place to find VAs, and referrals is probably the best, honestly. I mean, one of the best. If you have a friend that has a VA, VAs know other VAs. If you're in the Philippines and you know of somebody that is working for a remote company that's making that much money, that allows you to work from home, they're asking my VAs get a referral bonus because they have friends in the Philippines that are asking, how do I get a job like yours? And so referrals are big. You'll have VAs that you probably could just find another Amazon seller and say that has a VA and say, ask your VA if they have friends that want a job. And then you're getting a real person. You got to be careful there, because sometimes VAs will do that and say, this is my friend Adam, and it's really the same person, and they're giving multiple deals out. So you got to be careful there too. But online, that's where onlinejobs.ph is great, because they vet the people, and that you're dealing with a real person, and you're dealing, you know who you're dealing with. And also then, of course, Legendary VAs. It was a site that we created that is, it started out as just for Legends members, but now we're trying to expand with beyond Amazon, beyond Legends, because the needs there. I want to hire more people. That's just the fact. You saw those precious faces of those folks that we've been training. I want to provide more jobs for them, and so that's my heart behind that. But I'll tell you more about Legendary VAs here in a second. But essentially what we do is we shortcut the process, because a lot of folks, they know onlinejobs.ph exists. They know FreeUp exists. They know Upwork exists, but they don't want to go through the process of finding it. Seems daunting. Like, how do now I know where to go, but posting a job description, doing the interviews, getting on a Zoom call or a Skype call, it's just a lot of work. And if you've never hired anybody before, to do it with somebody who's overseas, that it can be intimidating. And so that's why we created Legendary VAs, to provide jobs, but also provide that need for folks who kind of want more of a done for you type service, to where you just know that, these folks are vetted. We can trust them. You don't have to mess with any of the payroll stuff. You just pay us, we pay them. Okay. So how to hire your VA, job description, title, trial job. Just post a job description. Like I said, you're going to get so many. I mean, you could just be something, if you was looking for Amazon product sourcing, that could be the title. Post in the chat if you need help, or email me, Ryan. Actually, if you email me, info@legendaryvas.com, my team will also see that. If you're looking for help with the job description, if you're going to go at it alone, I'll put this in the chat. Happy to provide you with job descriptions that we've used to help you down that road if you're going to do it yourself. But put something in the job description that makes that they read the job description. So, for example, you used this before, is maybe somewhere at the bottom or within the job description itself, put in, when you respond to this job, put in the subject line, I love bananas. Or, just something silly that that if they did not put that as the subject line, that they didn't even bother to read, because that will happen. These folks, sometimes they'll apply to any job. It doesn't even matter if they have the necessary skill set. They just want that job. They're going to apply for all of them. So that's why you're just going to get inundated with all of these different applicants. And you might think, oh my gosh, I've hit the jackpot. I got 50 people. Now I got to vet through 50 people. So one easy way to do it is put something in the job description that makes that they read through it all. And so if you go through and you get 50 different emails and you see 10 of them say, I love bananas, that you can just get rid of the other 40 and you can focus on these 10. And so then once you go through those 10, just do what you would normally do. Just look through their resume, look through what they've written, narrow it down to 4 or 5. And then you might want to get on. I mean, the easiest thing to do is, honestly, especially if you need them to, most of you probably don't care whether they speak really good English or not. You want them to be able to understand English so that they can understand your instructions. They need to be able to read English, but get on a Skype call or a Zoom call with them. I love getting on Zoom with them. It's a little bit intimidating for them, but just put them at ease and get to know them, ask them questions. Just do what you would normally do in an interview. Maybe have, find your top 3 and then give them a trial job and pay them for that trial job. So for an Amazon product sourcing VA, it might be, just find me 2 Replens, go to walmart.com and find me a couple of products that are on sale that meet my parameters of 40% return on investment, $5 profit in this category. Just give them some type of test job. Don't give them something that's going to take them weeks and weeks and weeks to do, but pay them for that job. I would probably pay them mean, for a test job like that, gosh, $10, $20 for something like that to have them do it. And then just pick the one that did the best, and that you just kind of have a sense that that's going to be the best fit for you. But if you can get on a call with them, that's be very, very helpful. Marisa, thank you. She says, Legendary VAs has been a great experience for us. We currently are using 2 Legends VAs. It's awesome. Yeah, we have several clients that have more than one. All right, so how to train them. So they might already come trained. If you are posting a job description about how to, about Amazon product sourcing, a lot of them have gone through training. They've done that before. They may already know what they're doing. You're going to find that out pretty quickly with the test trial, with the test project. So that'll help you weed them out. If you just talk to one that you're like, man, this person seems like they'd be awesome. They're ready to learn. And I want to train them myself. You can give them access to the Proven Amazon course, anything that you have access to. Get them in the Legends group, tell them to watch this video, these videos, or whatever. Or maybe you're going to train them yourself. If you do that, you're going to need standard operating procedures. You're going to need, and we could have a whole, in the Legends group, we have a whole module in the outsourcing course about this. Jimmy Smith is amazing at creating these, but a standard operating procedure is basically just a how-to manual for how to do your job. And it may be, if you're having somebody do back in Amazon account management for you, it's go here, click here. There might be some screenshots of clicking on this, going here, clicking on this, downloading this report. And it can be detailed. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that's a daunting task to put that together. And it can be, but once you do it once and you can hand it off, oh my gosh, the feeling of relief of like, I no longer have to do this job anymore. I can focus on either the things in my business that I really love to do, or we talk with my friend Honey Woods in our Legends group, where when she first hired a prep center, it wasn't so that she could go and find more product. It was so she could spend more time with her family. She's a homeschool mom of 6. And so for some of you, it may just be, wow, now I can go hang out with my family more. I can do some of my hobbies that I love to do. And if you can pay them somebody $4 to $5 an hour to do a job like that, then golly, it frees up your time to do whatever you need to do in your business or in your family. So some of you may have desires to write a book, create a course. Outsourcing some of your Amazon business that can be outsourced then allows you to work on some of these other things, because you don't want to be like the squirrel that's like, I got my Amazon business going and now I'm also trying to write a book and also doing this and this and this. Outsource as much as you can. Don't do it too early, but outsource as much as you can so that you can buy that time back to focus on those things that you want to be doing. And in an Amazon business, you want to be focused on those things that bring you the biggest return. Focus in any business. You want to be doing things that only you can do. That's the goal. Do things in your business that only you can do. And so that's why we talk about prep and ship. Outsourcing that is, you can hire somebody here in the US $10 to $12 an hour to do that job, while you can be doing the things that bring in the money, which is finding more inventory. So it might also be like number 3, screencast videos. I do a lot of when I'm doing instructions for my VAs for other things besides Amazon. I might be doing a screen share video saying, explaining a task. I want you to do this and this and this, and it's a 2 or 3 minute video. You can use Loom, Loom. I'll post it in the chat here. Loom, I think, has a free version to do a screen share video to give your VA instructions on what you want them to do. And that can be helpful. That a link can be in a SOP to that video, and that video, then that SOP lives on forever. So if your VA quits, they can hand that SOP on to another person. Hey, Callan, come here. Say hi. Callan's always wanting to do a webinar and say hi to people. So a couple of days ago, he was like, I want to get people on a call and do a webinar. I'm like, nobody wants to get on a webinar on Thanksgiving. So now's your time. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi. But there's no people on. That's right.
There are people. They're not on the video. It's me. And then Jim's in the background, but all these people are in the chat. They're in the chat. You can see that. They're all here.
What Jim looks like.
You've seen Jim before. You know Jim. So, all right. Good night, bud.
Jimmy.
Say Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Good night, bud. And so, guys, having a virtual assistant allows you to spend more time with your family. I mean, that to me, I get to work from home. I love it. I would not trade it for anything. he's 4. And so there can be challenges. Been working at home and having a 4-year-old, he can walk in anytime and interrupt me. And most of the time that's cute for my audience. Sometimes it can be stressful for me if I'm busy doing something and focused. But now I wanted him to come on and say hi, because seriously, a couple of days ago, he was like, I want to get on a webinar and say hi to everybody. And I think nobody's going to want to be on a webinar on Thanksgiving with me. So, all right. So screencast videos can be big, a really, really good, easy way to share a process or a procedure. And number 4, this is a really, 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 really big one, is ongoing communication. Even if they have prior experience, that they have past experience as an Amazon VA, you guys understand that there's a learning curve to this stuff. So just because they may have prior experience does not mean they know anywhere near what you know. They are learning just like you are. Even if they have had a couple years experience, this is your business. This is your baby. To them, it's just a job. Okay. And so there's going to be ongoing training. You've got to communicate with them. Another big thing, especially if they're Filipino, is Filipinos are typically more shy. And so they do not want to ask questions. They don't want to feel stupid. They want you to be proud of them, and they want to do a good job for you. They want to work really hard for you. And so they may be nervous to ask a question for fear of you firing them or thinking that they should know that. And so ask questions, communicate with them, tell them, hey, it's okay if you don't know something. I want to know that. I want to it's just communication is key. Just like in a marriage, communication is so super key. Same way in a VA relationship is very, very key, as to find out what they don't know so that you can either train them or point them to a course or point them to a video, but have that communication with them. So the way that works for us is one we use the most is Skype, for just the back and forth every day, messages as they come up type of things. It doesn't have to be Skype. I would highly, highly, highly recommend something that's instant, like Facebook Messenger, Skype, there's Slack, there's Telegram. I don't know, even most of them aren't going to do a text message, but have some way of instantly communicating with them, so that when they ask questions, you can get back quickly. And just know that there's a time difference. For me, I'm Central Time at 7:45 p.m. So for them in the Philippines, it's 9:45 a.m. right now. And so I know that if I post a message to them on Skype at 2:00 in the afternoon, that's 4 a.m. for them, that most likely they're not going to get back to me for several hours. And that's okay, because I don't really need a response right away. But just know that and you're going to wake up to messages of questions or just, chat. Another thing, guys, I love this for is I love to get to know my VAs. They become my friends. Again, that's where I said can be a challenge for me, I'm just a nice guy. I want to know about their families. I want to know how I can pray for them. Yes, I've sent them gifts before. You just got to be careful, because you don't want to be the person that gets taken advantage of. I'll be honest, we've had a couple of situations in our legendary VA program where we've had folks that have claimed that there have been medical issues and have asked for funds, and I've paid them, and we weren't really sure that was the case. And then they dropped off the face of the earth. So we think in those couple of instances, the person was, not telling the truth about, the tragedy that happened in their family. So those things have happened to me because I'm super generous. Thankfully, it wasn't a ton of money, but just know that there's got to be some boundaries. You got to be the boss, but it's okay to be their friend. So some of you are going to be way better at that than me in setting those boundaries. But for the day-to-day communication, back and forth, Skype, Facebook Messenger, something instantaneous is good. And then you don't have to do this, but I love getting on Zoom with them. I have to do this because of the large operation that we're running with legendary VAs. I have a Monday meeting with my leadership team, and they're all Filipinos, which is really, really cool. It's literally just me getting on and saying, hey, what's going on, guys? What happened last week? It's almost, the East Department is kind of reporting to me. It's kind of cool. And they're telling me about how many deals we got that day, how many new trainees, how many new posts we posted on the job posts. So I do that on Zoom. I see their faces. It's like we're having a meeting. You can totally do that with your VA. The more you get to know them, I think it's the better. And so this is not mandatory. Definitely communication is mandatory. A Zoom call is not, but it just allows for that face-to-face communication that you cannot get anywhere else. So I love Zoom for that. But if you're going to do that, I would say, no more than once a week would be something you would need to do. How to manage your VA. I'm going to try to wrap this up really quickly, guys. We do not even do this with our VAs. I don't have, except for the ones that are like obviously paid hourly. They just, it's kind of on the honor system. I mean, they're not, it's possible that some of them are taking advantage of it, but for the most part, like 95% of our VAs are just paid a salary. So it doesn't matter how many hours they work. If you have a VA that's working hourly, there's time tracking software that they can use. The one I use for me personally, because I like to see how much time I'm spending in my business. It's a CAATO time tracker. I mean, there's probably some that are way better than this. This is just a free one, a free tool it's a Mac app, but I'm sure, there's so many different things you can use, and that's just for me. But I've mentioned that to my VAs for them tracking their time, so that if they're doing an hourly task, then they can bill appropriately. But for the most part, our VAs aren't tracking their time because they're on salary. There's also screenshot software. We do not do this for our VAs. We don't make them do this, but there's software that if you had a VA that you just wanted to, maybe you're just getting to know them, you just hired them. There's actually software that will take screenshots throughout their working period. So you can see, were they working at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when they said they were? Nope, they're on Facebook, they're playing a game. We don't do this. This feels a little bit to me like more of a just way too micromanaging them. I want to trust them. I want to give them the trust. I mean, if they were charging me $50 an hour, maybe I'd want to do something like this. But at $4 an hour, it's like, what? If I'm paying $4 more than I need to be because, they were not so efficient, or they decided to go play a game for 10 minutes. I honestly don't care. As long as they're doing the job that I've asked them to do, as long as they're getting the job done. Again, that's because most of them are on salary. So it doesn't matter to me what they do when they do it, as long as they just get the job done. If they were hourly and they were getting paid a lot of money, maybe I would do something like this. But again, there's software you can get that will do screenshots. All right, that's it.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.